Welcome back! It's been a bit. Me and my new partner in this project, MarshalKylen, needed to take some time to figure out our workflow. Thankfully, we've got a ton of cards ready for Canto 4, covering parts 1 and 2, with part 3 soon to come. Because of the larger number of cards in each batch going forward, a few might not get featured in the video. So be sure to check out the drive for a list of every card. This Canto has a heavy focus on the new sinking counters, mill, and graveyard synergies, as well as touches of life gain and charge thrown in for good measure. Starting off with sinner number 1, Yi Sang follows the recently established theme of mirror check by focusing on copies. He also fits in both sinking and clue strategies. Crow's Eye View gives you 2 of 3 options, letting a creature fly for a turn, tapping a creature, and investigating to create a clue token. Starting the story off with a bang, Brazen Bull is a trampler that always attacks, and gets very strong when attacking anyone with sinking counters. It also gets jealous when a player draws additional cards, giving them sinking counters. Its ego, Capote, is another choose 2, with a lot of different ways to go on the offensive. Also on the scene are K-Corp filming drones, a basic flying creature that surveils on entry, and a related spell that helps you draw cards and gets easier to use as creatures die. As we enter K-Corp, we meet Samjo and Dongrang. Dongrang wants creatures and artifacts to enter and exit the battlefield on your side in order to manage life, and can sacrifice those creatures or artifacts for card draw. Samjo increases food production overall, and when you're high on life, he'll jump into the Pit of Weird Fluid and draw you 3 cards in exchange for exiling him. For the facility itself, Livestock Factory serves as a steady food creation source, and decay ampules serve as an effective way to deal with small threats, or much larger threats if you can get a bunch of life. Meeting the Rose Spanners, we have quite a few cards that each focus on some mix of charge, tapping, and stun counters. On top of the creatures themselves, we have some associated spells to give even more strategies. We also meet Ran, who creates large, stompy robots, and can also blow herself up for a very nice board clear. Shren ends up getting slashed down the middle with Silencing Slash, which destroys a low-cost creature without triggering abilities. If you have an assassin to help, you can destroy higher-cost creatures, and the spell cannot be countered. After Dongbek stabs Yi Sang through the heart, we get Unchanging Despair, a community contribution from Shrimp Fry, allowing you to bring back a creature that would die, and spread sinking as you do. Also from Shrimp Fry, we have Taxidermied Moment, a mana rock that eventually charges up to flashback an instant or sorcery. Back to the K-Corp facility to fight some rebels, we start with good old Muriel. You remember him, right? He buffs and gets buffed when token creatures enter the field, and creates more robots when you attack with creatures of total power 8 or more. Now, for the generics, instead of individual rebel creatures, Marshall focused on the equipment side, and made these ego equipment come with rebel tokens to summon instead. Sloshing Gear is fairly weak on its own, but gets stronger if you sacrifice food. It also synergizes with the abnormality it comes from, but we'll get to that in the next batch. It's also way cheaper to move around than most ego gear. Red Sheet is similarly small and cheap, allowing the wearer to spread +1/+1 counters around when attacking. We also have associated spells for good measure. Corrosive Splash lets you get destructive with multiple options, and Talisman has similar control effects, but can use all of its modes if you're willing to lose some +1/+1 counters on your side. As we get to Dongbek, we start with her gear. Sun Shower gear gives some stats, and when attacking, the equipped creature gives sinking counters, and if the target is properly sunk, will gain a shield counter. Its associated spell, Rain of Tears, is a spree that can spread sinking, or counter based on the number of cards in the target's graveyard. And it can use the new Ruin keyword effect, which I believe I forgot to mention in the last video, so here it is. Dongbek's card focuses on her Ego form, summoning a plant that reuses the Sign of Roses tokens. Then, the more tapped creatures you have, the stronger she'll grow, referencing her big attack that gains power from the plants. She'll become a powerful threat if left unchecked, and helps with ramp. Finally, Spicebush Yi Sang fetches a land if you're behind on mana, and grows larger if you're behind on board presence. But the main feature is the sort of Sinking Deluge effect, dealing damage based on non-land cards in the graveyard, then exiling that graveyard. Okay, that's all for this batch, but Canto 4 Part 3 should be coming fairly soon, featuring a bunch of abnormalities as well as some other major cards. Thank you all for watching, and again, thanks to MarshalKylen for the work he's been putting in. We still have some things to sort out with the workflow, but we're steadily figuring things out. Thank you all so much for watching. Again, cards are found in the description below, and I'll see you again soon.